Let's get judgy. Hello and welcome to this brand new video where I, as a professional dating person and love coach, will determine if I think if book couples stay together after the book is finished. To be honest, I took one single psychology class in school and I passed that one, but it was biopsychology, so maybe that doesn't give me all the credits. I just want to mention, these are my personal opinions, and if you have different opinions, that's completely fine. Just know that everybody's opinion is valid. I accept yours, you accept mine, that's how it works. Please don't be mean to me just because I don't like your favorite book couple. Also, I have to mention this, there will be some slight spoilers, so I'm gonna put a list with all of the spoilers right here. This is just about if you don't know who the couples are. Like, for example, if there's multiple love interests, I'm going to be talking about the love interests at the end of the book. So I'm not going to be talking about the second love interests or the one in the love triangle who didn't get picked. So without further ado, let's get judging. First up, we have Lily and Atlas from It Ends With Us. So these two, I think they will stay together. They are nice together, there isn't much that can go wrong here just because both of them are such calm people. It's not like a special condition that makes them enjoy each other's company more or less at some point. My only concern for these two is their relationship will at one point be really boring, and they will just go into this state of, okay, I'm with this person for the sake of being with them, but there isn't anything exciting going on. So I feel like they need some sort of adventure to keep their relationship sort of perfect and going. But other than that, I think that they will work it out and they will stay together. So the next couple is Olive and Adam from The Love Hypothesis. Now, I'm trying not to be biased here because I actually really like this book, and if you've been following me over on my Instagram, I've talked about The Love Hypothesis a lot, and I've told all my friends to read it. This might be because I'm a biologist and I am in the lab a lot. I'm gonna be in the lab tomorrow. I don't want to be. I want to read. Okay, I'm in the lab. But I think that these two will stay together because their love story wasn't very fast-paced. It was very slow burn. They got to know each other, they went on dates, they did all of the stuff that they needed to have a healthy relationship in the future, which I think is necessary to build the trust that they can get. Also, the whole, okay, I've loved you for ages sort of helps with that, I feel like. And both of them seem to always keep each other on their toes, they always have some sort of new adventure. And I feel like they would be the kind of people that would just be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and I'm just gonna go and we're gonna do something together. And okay, we had a fight, we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna go on a vacation. I don't know, that's what I feel. That's sort of the vibe that they're giving. The next couple on my list is Hades and Persephone from the A Touch of Darkness series. So specifically from that series, because all of the different Persedes. What am I doing here? Hades and Persephone stories, they all have a different vibe, they all have different relationships, but especially with this one, this is just, I don't like it. I didn't like the book a lot, I didn't enjoy it. I felt like their relationship was probably the most toxic that it could get. They would fight, they would lie to each other, they wouldn't take each other serious, and then they would just have makeup sex and everything would be fine after that. And a chapter later they would fight and then they would make up again. It was just a constant spiral of things. So I don't think that this relationship will last very long with both of them being happy. Classic Persephone and Hades, they made a pact so she can't go back. She's like, this is forever. She's the queen of the underworld. But will they be happy with this? I don't think so. I don't think they're happy. This is probably a very unpopular opinion, but I'm going to be talking about Juliet and Aaron Warner from the Shadow Me series. Don't get me wrong, I loved the series. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoy Juliet and Warner as like a couple, but I don't think that they will last. I personally think that Juliet and Warner were a great team when they were both super traumatized, when they were both under constant stress, when they were like under this pressure that they had to do something, and they were like, okay, we both have this pressure and we're connecting through that. And I feel like that if this pressure is just taken away from them, if they're finally in like this happy place, I think that they will just be missing something, and I feel like their relationship won't last forever. And I don't even know what gives me this feeling, but it's just this slightly uncomfortable feeling that I get. Like, they have such a strong codependency on each other. They might depend on each other too much, and once they're without the other person and everything is fine, they will realize that, hey, maybe I need to work on myself a little bit, and maybe once they're both separately in a better mindset, maybe they'll get back together and realize, okay, maybe I like this person. But I feel like they need a break. If that break is permanent, I don't know. But I feel like they need some sort of break. Next up, we have another like favorite, which is Feyre and Rhys from A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm not gonna say from A Court of Thorns and Roses because it's more like A Court of Mist and Fury. The deal about Feyre and Rhys is I feel like they've gone through a lot. First up, they got to meet each other in like this more like darker setting where both of them are very stressed, but they've been with each other for such a long time, and I feel like these two also have this very strong way of depending on each other. I mean, they literally made a pact to die together. If one of them dies, the other dies too, which I think is very, very dangerous. Like, why would you want the love of your life to die with you? It's like a Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, don't you want them to like survive and at least be alive? I mean, that's what I would want. But maybe I'm just not this much of a hopeless romantic as I thought I was. We'll never know. I think that their relationship is very strong, and I think that their relationship will continue to be strong. I feel like these two are just such a good couple in a way that they help each other a lot. They know what they need, and I feel like this is gonna last for a very, very long time. Next up, we're staying in the same world, but we're moving on to a different couple, which is Nesta and Cassian. The thing about Nesta and Cassian that is in my head is that they're both very, very strong characters that have a mind of their own, and that is good. Like, they are not the kind that just say, okay, I'm gonna do this for you, but I feel like that's gonna cause like some issues. I feel like they're gonna be in a constant on-off sort of relationship. I know that Nesta did a lot of things for Cassian. She changed a lot of things. If you know, you know. But I feel like they're gonna argue a lot. So this relationship, I feel like, is gonna be like this typical, okay, we're together, we're not together, we're in a big fight, we're breaking up, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I feel like long term, this is gonna be very stressful for the both of them, and maybe they'll decide, okay, we need to take a break for either a longer time or for forever. So I personally don't think that Nesta and Cassian are forever. The next couple on my list is Jude and Cardan from The Cruel Prince. Now, you already know my answer to this. These two are very, very toxic. I don't think that bully romances are a good concept. Like, who was the person that was like, okay, I'm gonna bully you to the point where I pushed you into like a lake and you almost drown, and I threatened to kill your sister, but I secretly love you and we're gonna be married forever. And like, it just sounds incredibly harmful to me. I was already indifferent. I didn't know if I liked Cardan and Jude together, especially since they didn't communicate, and I think that that's gonna be a problem for them in the future. Like, they don't communicate enough, and so I don't think that they will stay together. Speaking of toxic couples, the next one is also toxic, and it is one that most of you probably know because it's Bella and Edward from Twilight. if you haven't read the books, you've seen the movies, I don't know, you definitely know Bella and Edward. And my opinion is that everybody in Twilight is toxic except for Alice. That's just my point of view in this. And that's why I don't really care. I think that Bella and Edward will stay together, actually. I think they're both super, like, stuck in their own little perfect world with, like, Renesmee and their whole family, which is also very toxic, and lying to Bella's dad, and all of this mess. But I think that's what they do. It's what they enjoy. It's what they like. It's what'll work for them. So, I think they will stay together. Next up, we have one of my all-time favorite couples, and one of the first couples where I don't have to say I think they're super toxic. I'm talking about Alex and Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue. These two have my heart. These two are perfect together, and I think that they will stay together. I think that once Alex's mom isn't the president anymore, maybe Alex will move to England. They will have a lot of difficulties. They will have a lot of people who put like rocks on their way. They will have a lot of people who are saying, okay, you can't be together. Like, you're a royal, you're British royal, and this is your boyfriend, and you're not allowed to date because you're not allowed to be like gay. Horrible. But I think that they will do it. I think they will push through everybody. They will prove to everybody that their love is stronger. And I'm happy about this. I feel so emotionally connected to this couple that if they were ever to break up, I would be devastated. Like, devastated. The next couple is Pip and Ravi. So I have only read the first 2 books of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I love them together, but I also don't love them together. Like, I'm happy they have each other, but also like, why are you doing this? So I will be reading the last book, and I will tell you about it at the end of this video. Okay, I'm gonna be reading now, and I'm gonna tell you if I think if Pip and Ravi are gonna stay together or not. It is now several hours later, and I finished As Good as Dead, and I am now as good as dead. This book shocked me. I was not expecting this. I knew what was sort of gonna happen, but also I really wasn't expecting it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you might want to check the series out because it's really nice. It's a like teenage thriller sort of situation. I think that Pip and Ravi are perfect for each other. I think that this is a couple that will actually stay together. And yeah, I know I've just finished the book, so don't come at me. But I like them together. Which is funny because I think that before I read this, I said that I wasn't sure. Pip has a lot of PTSD and she's struggling a lot, so she needs all the help she can get, and Ravi is just there for her, and I like that. I appreciate that. The next book, or maybe I should say the next franchise I'm going to be talking about, and I'm not going to give any spoilers on this, is The Summer I Turned Pretty. So I'm just going to say that whoever Belly ends up with in the end of this book, I just don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. How are you still alive? I just don't. This relationship is the epitome of like a toxic relationship that will just crash and burn in my eyes. So there has been a lot of back and forth between the 2 brothers. That's something I can tell you without spoiling it, but this ending, it just wasn't satisfying. All my post-its in the last book were like green, and green is like cringy and what the fuck moments. I'm not even sure if I can say fuck. I just didn't like this ending, and I don't think that they will stay together. I think this is bound to break. So hydrate, people. If you've not drinking anything today, this is your cue. Or your cue to read just one more chapter. Whatever you prefer, or both. Preferably both, actually. The next couple is Cass and Poppy from Blood and Ash. For some reason, I feel like these two will miraculously work out. So I have read The War of Two Queens, and I was very confused. I didn't like how things were going, but I still think that Cass and Poppy will make things work in some way. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know why I have this feeling, but they just will. Things will be okay. Next up, we're gonna move into the Grishaverse, and we're gonna talk about Kaz and Inej. So, I'm not sure if this is just me, but if you hear the statement, "I protect my investments," I don't see how that's romantic in any way. I get that they're like very slow, and I get that they're they're taking things at their own time. Like, okay, you can like touch my hand now, that's fine. But I just don't think. The thing is, I feel like once they get together, I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to like keep the relationship, or if they're gonna just be together for the sake of being a couple, like everybody, like peer pressuring, right? Because like, I mean, both of them are a little crooked in their own way, let's just say it like that. But if one of them like gets the courage to ask the other person out, I feel like the other person might either be too proud or too confused to say yes. And I feel like they're gonna just sabotage their own relationship for themselves. They don't need to do anything. Nobody needs to do anything. They're just gonna do it for themselves. So I don't think that these two will end up in a very serious long-term relationship. Now, the next thing that somebody sent in, also from the Grishaverse, is Nina and Matthias, and I'm just not going to say anything. I think this is very cruel. You didn't know what this was about, but I'm gonna cry. So bye. The next couple on my list are Roma and Juliet from These Violent Delights. Now hear me out. These two, I think, will not stay together. I feel like this isn't gonna work out. Like, they have the same issue in my head that I had with Aaron and Juliet. So also the Juliets are just... But I feel like they're in some way... They're too toxic, and they only have this relationship during times that are really stressful. And for some reason, I believe that once all the stress is gone again, they're just gonna either fall out of love or just don't know how to interact. I feel like they also have communications issues, and I feel like this isn't gonna work out. And the last couple I have on my list are Ren and Crew from A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I just finished this book, and let me tell you, I think that these two might actually work out. I feel like there are gonna be some fights, but for some reason I can see them, like, these two being like the end game. Because he's very considerate. Like, Crew is a very considerate person, and I feel like that's just what Ren needs. And even though she's sort of like a whirlwind, I think that he can ground her. And so these two, in my opinion, are a very good couple. And if they learn to communicate a little better, if they know each other a little longer, then I feel like this is gonna be good for them, and I feel like they're gonna stay together. Alright, so tell me what you thought about all of these couples. Tell me what you thought about my opinions, what your opinions are on these, if you share any of mine, anything. And I will see you the next time I post a video. Goodbye! For some reason, it feels very bad judging other people's relationships and like putting my nose into other people's business. But I think that's what I do now. It's also kind of fun, but it hurts. You know? I love these couples.